Hi and welcome to our latest edition of Get in the Habit podcast with myself, David Finch, and my co-host, Sue Allsworth. How you doing, Sue?
Hi, Dave. Hi, everyone listening. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, thanks, all things considered.
Good. Okay.
So, yes, we have not done this for a while, have we, Dave?
We haven't done it for, it seems like a age. It really does.
I know, probably
And
about
as much as I've missed you, there's been a very good reason why I've missed you, and a very good reason we haven't done the podcast for, I don't know how many weeks it's been, but it's quite a few weeks, isn't it?
It'll be about 6 weeks.
6 weeks, is it?
Was,
right, okay.
Well, something like that, because it was 5 weeks this Sunday just gone that my mum passed away. So for anyone listening, the reason why we've been off air for a while is because, sadly, my mum transitioned to the other side 5 weeks ago from a very rapid, and I mean exceedingly, you would not freaking believe it, rapid spell of acute myeloid leukemia. Right. So she literally fell ill with significance on the Wednesday before bank holiday.
Right. Okay.
Had a week at home feeling ill. We were just sort of taking day by day, not COVID, doing all the usual tests and everything. And then the following Wednesday, I finally got her to see a doctor. And I love my mum to bits, but if you've ever met a mule, then you may have met my mum, because she's as stubborn as one. So we got her to the doctor the following Wednesday, and I had to take her straight up to the hospital. Basically, if I was an ambulance, I would have had blue lights on. And I was actually told by the doctor, if your mum passes out on the way up there, stop and call 999. And I thought, if my mum passes out on the way up there, I'm putting my fucking foot down.
Yeah.
And right. getting her to the bloody hospital even quicker than what I am right now. So.
Yeah, that's right.
So excuse my French there. So we got her up to the hospital on the Wednesday, and by the Saturday she was on a ventilator and an induced coma to give her a chance, because the leukemia was literally so thick. It went from the hundreds on the Saturday into the 200s on the Sunday, the platelets, and they were only in mild double figures a week earlier to that. 2 weeks prior to that. So it really did attack her body. I've always, you can't bargain with the upstairs, but I've always known that I've got no control, or you've got no control over death at the end of the day. So the timing, as an only child, I've probably I've suffered from anticipatory grief for quite a few years. And it's, to some degree, that was worse than this, because you actually know what you're dealing with when someone's actually died. Whereas beforehand, you're like, when's it going to happen? How is it going to happen? You're trying to plan for every contingency, and you just can't. And this was just like being knocked by a bus, and that bus was called leukemia. It was just literally. So the leukemia was so thick in her blood that there was no oxygen cells get into the lungs, which is why they had to put her on a ventilator. It was nothing to do with COVID. You hear the word ventilator these days and you automatically think COVID, but it's obviously ventilators used for many reasons, and one reason, to help you breathe, but for many symptoms. So we hadn't gone up to see her. She had kept saying, wait until I get to Canterbury, because that's where she was hoping to get to, the hospital, because that's the oncology and hematology departments. But bloods were going up to London, you got to wait days. And honestly, no one thought it would be. Leukemia can take you pretty rapidly, but not this rapid. And by the Saturday, we went up to see her, but she was already on the ventilator, so she basically had no saying the word on whether we went up to see her or not, to be fair. It was the only way we would get to see her. And then on the Sunday we were asked up again, which we kind of knew we would be. And we chose to discontinue life support so that she could go. And I'm not joking. They said it could be minutes, it could be hours. But as soon as we turned that life support off, she'd left the building. She was already gone. So
Okay.
It was been a very different time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it has. And that's why we haven't been doing our podcast and been here. So it's completely understandable. It was good that they let you in the hospital. I've heard so much since we've had COVID that people are not allowed in hospitals, especially when somebody hasn't got COVID and, then they're going in to see their loved ones and, not even in a life and death situation, but they just can't go in hospital.
Yeah.
But it was great that you was allowed in and you did see your mum. So.
This is where it's funny, isn't it? Where all the tricks and the trades that we've been talking about in the this year in the Get in the Habit come into play. Because my life's shit at the moment.
Yeah.
A tsunami has hit me and it has hit me full force.
Yeah.
And but I'm still me.
Yep.
It hasn't broken me as in who I am. I am experiencing sadness. I'm not sad, as that makes a sense. It's that mindfulness and it's that understanding that I am experiencing one hell of a lot of sadness at the moment. But I do know that I'm still me. Yeah. And the one thing Robin springs to mind with gratitude.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I have had nothing but gratitude. I'm not angry because at the end of the day, my mum's journey is my mum's journey.
Yeah.
I've got no claim on her as a human being because nobody has claim on me. Whether you're married or you're a daughter or son, you still have no claim on any individual's life. And why they've come into this world and when they leave has got no business but other than them and God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, the higher power. So I'm not angry at that because she went quickly. And as I was saying before, I've got no time. I've got no control on the time, but I've always said to upstairs, the big G, as I say sometimes, whatever you do, short and sweet.
Yeah.
I know no one's a good patient because I've worked in palliative care and elderly care. So I know it's getting old sucks. There is no other way of putting it. Yeah. It sucks. And it is not for the faint-hearted. It really isn't. But I got a little insight because my dad had a heart attack last year.
Right.
I got a little insight last year as to how mum would possibly be without dad.
Right.
And she wasn't as strong as she thought she was.
Yeah.
Or she gave the impression.
Yeah.
So whether that weakened her, she lost a big friendship last year as well. Whether that affected her, you just don't know. The leukemia. At the end of the day, from where I come from, all illnesses come from something mental, whether we're aware of it or not.
Yeah.
Limited beliefs, blocks. Negativity, bad cancer is a negative in every sense, isn't it?
It is.
And it's in her blood, it's flowing through life. And it was as if she just got suffocated with life in the end, with everything that went on. So it was her time to go. I've got a friend down the road who lost her father last year and couldn't be with him.
Right.
She went short and sweet. She hardly suffered. The treatment for acute myeloid leukemia sucks big time. It's bone marrow. It is not the pleasantest. Not any cancer is pleasant, but it's one of the most aggressive forms of a treatment because it's in your blood, which is going everywhere over your body. It's affecting everything.
Yeah.
But she didn't suffer. We were able to be with her at the end.
Yeah.
had the choice, I suppose, to I kind of always known that I had it in me to be the one to switch off life support. I've always known that
Okay.
I've had it in me to do
Yeah.
that. I made sure that it wasn't my dad that said that to the doctor, it was me, because I didn't want him saying that about his wife of 50 years. And I know
Yeah.
I've always known I could live with this,
Yeah.
because I would not ever, this isn't about me. Death is, although it's you that it affects more than the other one,
Yeah.
because they're dead and gone, the actual before they're dead is not about you. It is about the person dying. It is about what is best for them, how
Yeah.
you can make that transition as dignified as you possibly can. And there is such a thing as a good death.
Yeah. Yeah.
And apart from my mum being able to say goodbye to us, which she didn't and couldn't, she was still trying to get her brain around it all, I think.
Yeah.
So she was taking those few days before she went to Canterbury, so to speak,
Yeah.
to get, I mean, when you're told you've got cancer, there is no one else that actually is happening to except you.
That's
So
right.
you
Yeah.
have to get your own head around that before you can speak to your family and that. So I get, and I know my mum, so I get that she was taking those few days to try and get her head around things, but the brain wasn't functioning already that brilliantly because she was
Yeah.
really going downhill so quickly. And I think Friday night I must have known something was wrong and I couldn't sleep. So I wrote her a letter and sent it to her on WhatsApp.
Oh.
But she
Yeah.
never saw it, because
Right.
at the same time I was writing it, she was actually being moved to ICU
Right.
and put on a ventilator.
Yeah.
So I put this up on Facebook, and it's quite apt right now. And if I had a message, I suppose, to give anyone right now, it would be this poem.
Right.
The image itself was done by a friend, and it's in one of my journal journey books, Journal Journey to Your Mind. But this is a poem that my dad wrote back in 1990 for an
Okay.
English student of mine. But it was around the time that his dad had recently and suddenly, he lost his dad at 68, when he was 68. And
Right.
my mum was 71. And I look at it that my dad was 40 when he lost his dad. And I've had 6 more years with my mum than my dad got with his dad. So again, you have to look for the little gratitudes, don't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, you
Because
do. Yeah.
there is actually no order of things in life,
Mm.
except you live, you die.
Yep.
There should be going to old age. That's just what we have in our human brains to make us feel safe.
Yeah.
But actually, people die, kids die from stillborn a few hours. There's a reason we come in and there's a reason we go out, and how long we are here for is, again, none of our business.
No, we never know, do we?
But this is a poem. And if anyone out there hasn't picked up the phone or made that extra contact, because they've got lazy, maybe through lockdown, or it's easier sometimes to not bother, here we go. A day of grief so sudden and final, and no time to say goodbye. A lifetime of memories to remember, but still no time to say goodbye. Moments past, moments missed. Stories not asked or told. Again, no time to say goodbye. Make the time, make the effort, as there may be no time to say goodbye.
Wow. That is amazing. Yeah.
There really wasn't.
And your dad wrote that?
My dad wrote that, believe it or not. Yeah, he was well pissed off because he only got a B for the actual whole project. It was a newspaper reporter style and everything. But funnily enough, this is actually where I got the belief I can't write, because I had been doing C's and D's at that point in English. This got me a B. And I remember the teacher going, now, Susan, I knew you could do this. And what I heard was, well, I didn't do it, so I can't write.
Ah, right.
Dad, I came home like, I've got a B.
Yeah.
He was a bit pissed off. He didn't get an A.
Right. I've got you.
I'm going to
Right.
do it
I
again.
see.
He said, I'm going to do it again. But no,
Right.
he lost his dad to a second stroke.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I just think it's funny that you tried to pass it off as your own. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's never my own poem. It's my all my dad's. Yeah, I did at
in
school.
In school, yeah.
I had to, otherwise it would have been called cheating, Dave.
Yeah,
And I mean,
yeah,
I didn't cheat.
Oh no, definitely not.
Never.
No.
But you
Oh
just
dear.
you don't know.
No.
You really all I can say to people is do not have any regrets. If I have a one serious message to take out of all of this, and that is if you're sitting on any regrets right now, get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because grief is hard enough without them.
Yeah.
If you tie in to grief, regret, I am sitting here in pain and sadness, but that is because I missed my best friend and my mum.
Yeah.
But I'm not sitting here with any regrets. I'm not sitting here and thinking, I mean, there's a few things, but minor little things, but I'm not sitting here with any of those big, why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? Because we were blessed that we were able to do everything as a family.
Yeah.
We were very much a unit. I mean, I can't have children, and we were a marriage, I suppose, in all sense of purposes. We never, in the end, we didn't do anything without the other two.
Yeah.
Because it just was, even after lockdown, I was encouraging my parents to, we'd been away in June, and she was fine in June.
Right.
So this is how rapid it took her, because we were walking every day. If she had had an inkling of this, she would not have been okay in June.
Yeah.
But I am sitting here in pure pain, but with no nagging regret, because that's something I've worked on. I've worked on the bucket list. I've worked on everything. A few years ago, one of the biggest things that my mum wanted to do was to go and see the Edinburgh Tattoo.
All right.
So I set the balls in motion without me there. You have to apply for the ticket, and then you're lucky if you get one or not.
Oh.
And then only then can you do your accommodation things and that. And so it was all a bit different for how mum and dad liked the security of going away.
Yeah.
And I was going with them. And sadly, I don't have this memory with them, because I had to make a choice. And I had to choose to stay behind on that one, because I was actually looking after someone who was in their final week of life.
Right.
And I had a choice. And I said to my mum, I would prefer to lose the money. It's my inheritance at the end of the day. And look after I wouldn't live with myself if I took a holiday over looking after someone to the end of their care, when I had made a promise, shall we say. So but she got there. So anyone, don't do regrets. The only person that regrets will screw up is you after the other one's dead.
That's right.
And when you get that, then you get mental health issues. And you think it's about something bit other than the fact that a lot of mental health issues are just about our crappy choices in life. They really are. They're as simple as that. You have mental health issues because you're still beating yourself up because you didn't do X, Y, and Z. You didn't say X, Y, and Z. You're letting it loop. You're letting it carry on. And that is where not all mental health, but a lot of mental health comes from. And it is self-made, whether we realize it or not. And with regrets, once you've heard this and me speaking, you can never unhear this. So you can never be unconscious with this information anymore. So it's from here on in, if you're listening to this, it is up to you whether you want to have regrets or not, because I'm here as a big sign saying don't have them, because it makes death so much more messier. And you cannot do anything about it. There's no, you know, oh well, maybe she'll pop up tomorrow.
That's right.
Dead is dead.
Yeah. That's it.
So that's my main message today, Dave. Don't have regrets.
Have regrets. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I know ever since we've met, you know, virtually, we've never met in person, but we've always met virtually, almost every week at one point, you know, and you've always said that you lived with your two best friends. And I think that's really nice that you have been able to do that. And the lockdown, in some way, well, the lockdown got me and you to talk to each other. It also gave you the opportunity to spend that time together, you know, and, you know, to have that time.
I mean, I still live with one of my best friends, luckily.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I still live with both of them because we've got mum's ashes in the house.
Oh, right. Okay.
And believe it or not, she might be physically gone, but mentally, I can remember saying to her ages ago, you are never going to have to worry about haunting me, Mum, because you are there. You're in my head. You know, I know what you would say when I'm doing something. And to be fair, it's actually more annoying dead because I really can't walk away from it. She just follows me everywhere. But I mean, it was like on the Sunday that she passed, I put some washing on in the morning, came back, and it was later in the day. So although it was a nice enough day to put the washing on the line, I was just like, you know, not in the mood. And I can actually remember having a 3-way conversation with me, my cousin, and my mum upstairs at the tumble dryer. And I'm going, hang on a minute, Nick. I know, Mum, the washing should go on the line, but seriously, you just died. Give me a freaking break. And you know, I'm having a day off. I'm having a semi-day off. So, you know, and I know it's sort of like, although I've got a strong voice in her head, I'm strong enough to know, you know, I've already said to her, look, we're going to have some new rules around here. You know, our standards, me and Dad's standards, are slightly different to Mum's standards, which are quite high.
Right.
So we have good enough. It'll do.
Okay.
What do you reckon? Good enough? Yeah, that'll do. But I've already said to her, you're just going to have to sit on high and suck it up that it's going to be Sue's way now, because I'm not Mum. I'm not Christine. I've got to have my imprint, I suppose, on the house. Dad and I have slotted in. To be fair, Dad and I have slotted in probably a lot easier than it would have been than me and Mum, funnily enough.
Right. Okay.
Two alpha females don't necessarily make a positive
all
the time.
Yeah.
And my name's Sue, and I am a self-confessed daddy's girl.
Right. Okay. So I was just wondering, is it a case of like, you say something, your dad just goes, yeah, okay, whatever, you know?
I don't know if my dad's actually ever said no to me, to be fair, because my mum was the disciplinarian in the house. And as much as I hated her, oh God, if I think back to 14 and 16, I can remember screaming at her, I hate you. And I can even remember asking my dad, how could you marry something like this? Because I think all she knew how to say was, can I no? Can I no? Can I no? No, no. But I'm so grateful she did, because it's because I was a strong person and I needed strong boundaries. Otherwise, I would have probably become quite a cropper. So no, I have been blessed, Dave, in the sense that, but my dad and I, we are best buddies. We're already planning quite a few bird watching trips.
All right.
And we might branch over to Wales, as we're sort of, we've got a trip at Dungeness later on in a while before Christmas, put it that way. Which is only about 40 minutes down the road, but it's in a cottage on the beach. No nothing around, no people.
Wow.
And the bird reserve up the road. So
Yeah.
we're planning. It's just weird, but we know that we have to, sort
Yeah.
of thing, if that
That's
makes
it.
sense. So
Yeah.
I know that going forward, I'm still going to be involved in the podcasts, and I'm going to come on almost like a guest
Yep.
myself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know I can come on as often as possible, as I want.
You're
But I
always
still need
welcome, Sue. You know
some
that.
time to breathe.
Yeah.
I
So
know.
just
I need some time to still
yeah,
breathe into
of course
this,
you do.
and
No, that's fine.
but I know that you are going to carry the flag and the baton.
Yeah. I'll even wear
Very
the
well.
t-shirt next time as well. I haven't got my t-shirt on today, but I will have. I'll get my Get in the Habit t-shirt
I
out.
made an effort.
You have. You did make that effort today. Well done.
Well, okay, let's be honest to the listeners and the watchers. I made an
Okay.
effort meant that I took my pajama top off and put
Yeah.
this t-shirt on. So I've got to keep it authentic, and I've got to keep it
Yeah.
real, Dave, because
You have.
authentic by name, authentic by business.
Nothing's changed really.
So
Yeah.
to be fair, if anything, I'm probably even more blunt and direct now, because
Yeah.
I just don't see the point in pussyfooting around, because life's too short to pussyfoot around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you
When I
want
say
a
nothing's
life
changed,
coach,
what I meant was every week, normally what you did when we meet to do our recordings, you would actually take your pajamas off. In fact, half the time you would come with your dressing gown on first of all, and then take your top and put your other top on. Oh, there we are. Exactly. Your pajamas are on. Yeah.
the pajama bottoms
Still,
are on, and
that was I must admit, it was one of the things we did in the early days when we had lockdowns, was I would work from home, you would work from home, and we both had our pajamas on, so it was great, so yeah, we've both been there, yeah. So
nothing's changed for me at the moment.
No, you're
unless
always
I'm going out.
Yeah, you're always going to be a part of getting a habit, that, it's something that we created together, it's like that's what we did.
It's funny because I was thinking about it, and I've got to get in the habit in many different ways now.
Yeah.
The house is now, Dad's taken some new roles. I mean, Mum did everything, bless her.
Right.
Not because we were lazy and didn't offer, because she just really, did things her way,
That's
and
what she did.
That's the way it was, and that's fine.
It.
But so my role in the house has stepped up. I now have become cleaner lady and the washer lady, because there's no way my dad's ever going to learn how to use a washing machine. And to be fair,
I think you'll teach him. I really do. I bet within a few weeks he'll know exactly what he's doing with that washing machine. No, I bet he does.
No, Dave, he really won't. Why would he need to? No, he won't need to. Why does he need to if I'm there to do it?
Well, so you won't need to. You'll just go, Dad, look, I'll show you how to do this, Dad. It'll make life much easier for you. He'll go, all right then.
No, my dad's got enough going on, to be fair. He's had to up his game on many levels. So we've got to share this, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that he won't clean. He would, to be fair, he doesn't even see dust. Now, my levels and standards of clean in the house are a lot lower than my mum's, but they're a lot higher than my dad's. I'm sort of somewhere in between, which means that we will still have a respectable house. Okay.
Wait, what you mean is, right, your dad don't even know where the Hoover is in the house, the vacuum. He won't even know where it is.
No, he wouldn't know where it is, but he wouldn't necessarily want to use it.
Yeah, okay. I got you. Yeah. Yeah. It's nice, though. The thing is, I always think, and it's funny because, we've always spoke about different habits. And one thing we've never spoke about, and maybe that's where we'll go, I'll go on my own, and maybe with other guests as well. I don't know how the thing's going to plan out from here on in. But maybe some of those household habits, I know in, my household, it's very much, I do the washing, the hoovering, vacuuming, whatever. And sort of clean around, but I never do the dusting. It's funny, isn't it? Because I don't see the dust. I'm a bit like your dad. Maybe it's a man thing. I don't see the dust. Whereas my
No.
wife, she'll go, look at the state of this place. And I go, looks all right. I've put the Hoover around the other day. So she'll go, yeah, but look, it needs dusting. And it's like, to me, it looks all right. Maybe men don't see dust. That's what it is.
I think, I don't know. It's also possibly a generational thing, because my mum, although she sort of moved with the times in the sense that she got with iPads and technology and online stuff and that, she's quite old-fashioned in the sense that her place was her job was to keep home. Dad went out and made the money. She has worked over the years, don't get me wrong, but in the end, her job was keeping a safe house for me and Dad.
That's right. Yeah.
And she took pride in that. So there's not actually nothing wrong with that. Whether people want to call it stereotyping or old, whatever, but it worked for them, and that's what works for individuals.
Exactly.
But she went out and did. I mean, my mum did volunteering for the Samaritans and the Citizens Advice Bureau for between the two of them for 20 odd years.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. Yeah.
She was a woman that, as annoying as her wisdom was, she was an oracle.
Yeah.
And if anyone had even just a minute of time with my mum, you just don't know it. Not as my mum, as a human being, as an individual. If you just met Christine, forget she's my mum, because before she's my mum, she was just Christine, and that's who she is.
Yeah.
You were blessed, because she was she was a special lady. I know we all say that about people, but she helped a lot of people. Her purpose on life was service. In so many different ways. And to have been privileged to spend 46 years with her, it's
that's amazing, because you started off by saying if you spent just 1 second with her, you would have known she was a lovely person. Just imagine you've spent all those years, 46 years with her, and what an amazing time you've had. So there is no words. I tried to send you a lovely message one day, and I just ended up deleting it because I couldn't think of what to say. There is no words to say sometimes. So I
know you've lost your mum as well.
Yeah.
I know you've lost your mum. We were talking before, because you're going to start going on more caravan trips and that, and you've named your caravan after your mum, haven't you?
That's right. Yeah. So I've got a new love in my life.
Mums are.
You've gone out of my life now, Sue. That's it, right? So that's it. A few weeks of non-podcasting with me, and I found a new love. All right, and that is my caravan Betty.
Fickle.
Yeah, I know.
So fickle.
So
just
what happened?
Like a man.
I'll tell you what really happened, right? So my son bought a caravan quite a while back now, and they went on these caravan holidays, and me and my wife, we was like, what are they doing caravan holidays? That's really not him. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, we went to stay with him just one day, just an afternoon, at somewhere called Folly Farm in Wales, which is a lovely place. And we went there, and it's this campsite. Now, we used to go camping when my son, Lewis, when he was just a little kid, we used to always go camping in tents, and also in the back of a van sometimes, because he used to have a van that big van, transit, and you could sleep in the back. So we used to chuck a mattress in the back, just go away. So that was our version of camping. And he grew up with that anyway, and he didn't think nothing of it. But anyway, we went to this campsite, and it was amazing. The facilities were out of this world. And we went, wow, look at this. And his caravan was beautiful. He did it all up, and they painted and decorated it. It was stunning. And we went, oh, should we get a caravan? So that was it. We went out, bought a caravan, and ended up doing it all up, kind of renovating it. And changing it all around. And we wanted to give it a name. And one day we was thinking of all these different names. And one day my wife said to me, let's call it Betty. And I went, yeah, it's a great idea. And Betty was my mum's name. So, it's always a little part of Betty, you know, a little part of my mum comes on that trip with us, you know, which is a great thing, I think, you know. So
I mean, we do anything that we can. My mum's garden was her legacy. So we're keeping that up. But you can bring them still, their energy into your life, their memories. You know, their memories, the memories are not a photo.
No.
Memories are, you know, you can still, not just a photo, should we say. Actually, talking of memories, it's funny because do you remember one of our first ever podcasts we did about music?
Yeah.
So what I've done, music was always in our house. So like camping has always been in your family and your history as growing up, and you've now got your camper van. Music's always been in our life. So and photos, you know, one, they can get destroyed or lost. Two, how many times do you look at them and go, where the hell were we?
You
know, where was that?
Yeah, where's that?
So what I have created in my mobile phone is a folder on one of my subscriptions, a folder called Mum. And I have gone back from the day that I can remember. And I've put, so for example, one of my first memories of doing anything with my parents was they took me to my first ever music concert, which was 5 Star.
Oh, wow. I remember we spoke about that.
Rain or shine.
We did. Rain or shine. Yeah.
I'm linking in all of these
yes,
podcasts.
We did.
And I will be back for the Watty Potty.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. That's definitely sure.
Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah.
But so I've collected a folder of all songs that give me an instant memory of Mum, because you know what, you can burn every single photo if you like, but music can never you can find music anywhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you cannot kill the radio, as they say. You cannot kill the music.
Well, video killed the radio star. There you are. That's another one.
But to have a folder, and this is what I would suggest to anyone, because it is a really, I can't listen to all the songs yet. But I'm collecting them when something, and Dad and I talk about, do you remember when we did that? We'll have a song to go with that. And I'm going to create a set one for my dad as well. But my dad will be very different, because my dad's music and my mum's music and my experiences and memories, some of them are combined. But I've been to see Van Morrison with my dad because he loves jazz, and Georgie Fame times, and things like that. So I'm going to have very different music memories. But as soon as you hear a song, think about it. There must be a song that if I say to you, what song comes to your mind when you think of your mum?
Oh, to be honest, there are so many. And because again, music was in our house, because my dad was a singer. And I've actually got, well, you won't remember them, but they used to be 78 years ago. Do you remember records with 33, 45?
I've got my mum's old 45s. I've got all of my mum's old 45s still, but yes, I do.
Yeah, so we had 78s of my dad singing, and a friend years and years ago had the technology of putting them from record to, in those days it was on just as digital, you know, but he created a CD, you know, but then I've converted it back onto the PC. These days, of course, you can listen through MP3 and all that, you know. And what you just said about you can't listen to them, I remember sending a CD to my brothers and sisters when he done that for me originally. And my sister only, I think it was a couple of years ago, said to me, I've just been able to listen to that CD. And my dad died in the 80s, you know. So, you know what I mean?
You lost your dad when you were quite young.
Yeah. A long while ago now. But even now, I listen to some of those songs, and I can't listen to them. It's for me. Some days I'm stronger than
others, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Some days I'm feeling a bit more delicate. Some days I'm okay with some of the music, like you. It depends. I mean, for all honesty, I mean, the last moments I had with my mum personally were when I went to view her. Because I find, one, I need to do that transition to make sure that she's being taken care of.
Yeah.
Take that caretaker role on.
Yeah.
And two, it's not for everyone, but it is my thing.
Yeah.
And so my last memory with my mum, my dead mum, shall we say, I put on some of the music that I had collected in that folder. And I was with her for about an hour, and we had an hour of sobbing and reading cards and what have you, private stuff. And then the last half hour I was there, we literally had a disco. If anyone could see, if some people are listening and thinking, oh my God, what a weirdo, but I tell you now, grief, it is a very personal and individual thing, and there are no rules. It is whatever gets you personally through it. And so I decided, I think we had a little, I really hope no one was listening outside. I had Frank Ifield. She taught me to yodel. Yodeling. I'm not joking. We've got Tell Laura, I love her. All about death. Frank Ifield, I remember you. Petulia Clark, Sailor, Stop Your Roaming. Because she listened to all the 60s when she cleaned. So we had and then we had, at the beginning, I played some sad songs that we cried. And so then I was like, right, Mum, like anything, we're going to end this on a party. So let's have a dance. So that for me helped me. Again, I'm a caretaker, and I went to see her dad so that Mum could put a letter in the coffin, and I was that person who made sure that that happened. This time I knew my dad didn't want to, which is fine, and he didn't have a problem with me going, and I wanted to make sure there was a photo of me, mum and dad in there with her.
Brilliant.
And so, and the funeral was just as sweet. There were 7 of us. No one said a single word at my mum's funeral. We didn't have a minister. We had an attended direct cremation. So the maximum was 12 anyway, because you only get 10-15 minutes. It's not a service, it's a attended cremation. So we literally had time to play her 3 songs. Well, I'm not being funny, but you can't actually beat the words of the Beatles, The Long and Winding Road. John Lennon, Imagine. And then Dionne Warwick, What the World Needs Now Is Love. You can't beat those words. So
amazing.
She picked her songs wisely.
Yeah.
We all stood around the coffin, placing flowers in Imagine. And then we all stood around and sang it with her. And the guy, guy actually said at the end that was the most moving, intimate funeral he had ever been to. And no one said a word.
That's amazing.
So you can imagine that Imagine's now ruined for me for the rest of my life.
But it's weird. There will become a time, and I don't know when it is, and I think it's different for everybody. There will become a time when you can listen to that again. You know?
Oh, I can all now. I have to do it, prepare myself. And I can listen to them as long as I know that I'm okay to cry. You know, and it is okay to cry. I mean, I'm doing a lot of crying, and you and I said at the beginning of this before we came on, and I know this has been a bit more long-winded. I'm getting my time in before I say.
So make your most of it.
Not feel well, but we sort of I don't know where I was going to go. I was going to go somewhere there. We'd said at the beginning, what were we just talking about then, Dave?
About the fact that soon you will be able to listen to those songs again, and how you would feel. That
was it. About crying. We discussed before this we were going to do just this as a podcast without recording it and me putting it on video.
That's right.
And I turned around and said no. I said in the end, I was like, no, authentic smile by name, authentic by name, by authentic by business, authentic by nature. And my grief is private, but I wanted to come on and do this once.
Yeah.
so that people can, I'm not trying to be all happy Sue, but I still do have my authentic smile within me.
Yeah.
This has shaken my foundations, but it's not broken me. It is a wave I have got to ride, and one I will ride. And I'm not going to just survive my parents' death or my mum's death. I'm going to thrive it. But I need time to breathe into that. But I said I wanted to do this on video because if I, I can't be anything but me. And I can't be anything than who I am right now. And I have never faked that on this podcast, and I'm not about to now.
And do you know what? I think our regular listeners and the listeners that have found us, to be new listeners as such, and just recently I've had a few people say to me, "Oh, I've listened to a few of your podcasts," and there were people I never even knew would even listen. Do you know what I mean? They're just people making a comment, and they buy into you and they buy into me. Every week we get in the habit of what we do, how authentic you are in what you do, how you are, and so on. And I think it's been really nice today for you to come on and to share that experience, because our listeners and viewers will also be, that will be a part of them. It's authentic. Exactly what you said earlier. It's authentic, and
I'm in a world of pain, but I can still smile.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way for me to put it. I am in an absolute world of pain, but I can still smile, and the smile isn't fake.
Yeah.
It's just not got as much punch behind it, but I'm still me, and I can still, I still love life. I still can find the joy. I still get the bigger picture, and everything. I've just lost a friend.
Yeah. Okay, so let's. It's been lovely seeing you again, because we haven't done this for a while now, and it's been really lovely seeing you again. And as we said earlier on, and we'll remind the listeners now and the viewers, I am going to carry on. I'm going to carry on doing, and we're going to keep it called In the Habit, because I think that's a great name. And myself and Sue sort of come up with the name. Well, I think Sue did, and I just went, yeah, all right, Sue.
And I will be popping on, and I will be coming back. I just at the moment don't want that regular each week performance, so to speak. As I'm,
and it's a commitment at the moment, isn't it? It's a commitment. We committed every Friday morning. We decided, you blanked it out, I blanked it out in our calendars. We got together every Friday morning, and we recorded our versions of Get in the Habit. And sometimes they went out that week, sometimes they went out another week. And that's what we did. And we did that for a long while. And that was really lovely to be able to do that. And you can come back whenever you want. You know that, all right? I'm going to carry on doing that. I probably won't record them on a Friday. I may do. Who knows? I might do them a different day. But whatever happens, Get in the Habit will still be there. If you want to be a guest and you want to come and join us as a guest, please get in touch, and get in touch with me this time, because Sue is always the secretary, if you like, the PA, because she's so good at that. But I'm going to have to get good at that side. So if you want to get in touch, you want to come on, please do.
Passed over to you. Hang on, I need to do it that way to make it look like I...
yeah, you put it that way. I'll grab it this way. Go and see if we can do that. There, go on your video. Which way you going?
I'll make the tissues.
All right, yeah, yeah. Go on that way. I haven't got any tissues. Oh no, it didn't quite work, but there you are. Never mind. But yeah, look. If you do want to come on, if you've got any ideas, things we'd like to cover, habits you'd like to talk about, get in touch, keep interacting with us. And I'm sure very soon Sue will be popping up now and again to get in the habit, and join us from Get in the Habit. So Sue, let's round it off. Thanks very much for joining us today. I still don't know what to say to you, to words of wisdom. I have no words of wisdom, and you know that. But yeah, and I really want to give you that hug. I want to give you that virtual hug. All right, I had a crazy thought one day. I thought, how long is it to drive down to Kent to give you a hug? And in fact, we were talking about caravans earlier on, and my son, he actually sold his first caravan, and he took it to Kent, a place in Kent. I can't remember where it was now, but he took it to Kent to deliver it. And I actually said to him, I'll come with you. Because I thought, well, that's not too far from where you are. So we could do a diversion, and I can come and I can give you a hug. As it was.
Please do. Yeah.
As it was, I couldn't do it that day because he needed to go at a certain time and I couldn't do it. So it's got to be a virtual hug. So it's got to be a virtual one.
We will physically meet one day. Don't worry, Dave. It will happen. So, but from me to everyone, thank you for listening. Please continue to listen. You probably will wonder whether I actually have left or not at one point, because I'll be popping up so much. But I do I know that I need a few weeks at least, and and I will be back to do that Watty word of the year and phrase of the year at the end of the year and things like that. So on those sort of things, I'm still in the background. My business is I'm still open, as they say. So you can always contact me via AuthenticSmile.com. Just things are just slightly different, but that's fine. Sometimes that's life, isn't it? Nothing's permanent, not even life.
No, that's it. Well, I mean, let's sign off. I
have to say, the last sign off I've got, I mean, I don't know if it's on a happy note or not, but if there was anyone who was stubborn enough to avoid death, it was my mum. So I'm afraid anyone that's listening, we are all screwed. We're screwed, because if she couldn't do it and figure it out, then no one has got a chance. So my lasting note is, like the things in life are guaranteed, and in what goes on in the middle, smile, because you just got to smile.
Been lovely to chat with you again. See you again soon.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.